S to a dollar sign.
I will get big checks. It's just what's going to happen.
That's gonna happen.
It's just going to happen,
With the
bro.
big check.
We're going to be at your neck, bro. Every day. That's a professional pitcher. I know success, yeah.
I built it from nothing. I don't give a fuck. What even qualifies you to tell somebody you're gonna fail? Like, are you like a MBA, like from Harvard? It's like, have you studied?
If I gotta risk everything to do this shit, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
S to a dollar sign.
So how you living today, D? We out walking outside, beautiful neighborhood, stuff like this. And I got a question today. I was talking about that earlier. That's amazing. So a couple things been going on this week. There's a lot been going on with the ad agency. We started building a sales team out.
Well, we're in the office about to go to an ad agency sales meeting. This was all about building the business from scratch.
25, Josh.
Welcome to the office, Josh. This is where we get it in there.
Free beer.
Free beer. We have free beer. Anybody who wants free beer.
You're talking about how I don't drink no more.
Get you one. We got cups, everything.
Matter of fact, I'm pouring free off it.
What are cups?
We started doing all kind of crazy stuff. And this question came to me and it got me to really thinking. Like, this one word here is the only reason that I believe that we've been able to build up what we've been able to build up. And when you watch this till the end, you'll understand exactly how, no matter what you're doing over long term, how do you just stay in there? Like, what makes you stay in there? And it's learning this one word.
Exactly.
Like mastering this one word.
Exactly. And to answer your question, I'm doing amazing right now. You can see out here in Houston, Texas, there's a dog crying. Maybe he's
sounds
hungry.
like it does.
Wow, shit.
Yeah.
I don't think they can hear that. But
Yeah, they
long
can.
story short, I'm feeling amazing, man. But it's a wonderful day to film outside. For those of you who don't know, Houston is hot.
Like somebody, like I feel like somebody literally taking like a hot piece of metal and putting it on the back of your neck when you walk outside.
It's like somebody like you carrying somebody at all times.
Like, exactly.
It's
It's like somebody just holding on your back and you just feel them like breathing on your neck, and it's like you just feel the like on the back of your neck, like the humidity is right. That's how it is in Houston.
It's like a bad a bully in Houston, but
Yeah.
as you can see, man, it's a beautiful day. And just piggybacking off of what P said, when you listen to this video to the end of this whole podcast and to the end, you'll definitely realize that the stuff that's about to be said in this one, just because I got another sneak peek of the question again, I can't help myself. Sometimes
Well, it gives you time to prep.
Well, yeah.
Time to prime
prep for it. And I like to prep my food before I eat.
This neighborhood is amazing.
Yeah, no, I love this neighborhood. Living in this neighborhood too, and I'll even talk about that later on in the episode too. Of why I chose this particular neighborhood, or why we even chose this area to do business in, because I believe that that the one word that I crept up on the question earlier today. I crept in. It's me again. It's me again. I crept in on the question, and I got a chance to really see it and just make sure that Mike not getting too far away from us. Let me scoot up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, just walk slow to make it super easy. Just super slow, snail's pace. Just walk with us. Just walk with us. Just enjoy the scenery with us as you listen to the soothing sounds
of Marco's spoon. They should never let us come outside.
No, they shouldn't.
You all right, man?
I'm feeling good, and like I say, I think I'm loving this the topics that have been coming in lately.
Yeah, now people are on a point with these questions. It's almost like we creating the questions.
Exactly.
The way people ask
Well,
them.
I think when you get in entrepreneurship, there's only so many
problems.
There's problems that are unique, I guess you could say, but they all are like a category of problems, right?
Exactly.
So it's like when people are like, how do I make more passive income? If you haven't watched last week's, you need to check that one out. But like, that's a common thing. People want to know, how do I not make my job or make my business just another job or be a slave to my business? How do I multiply my wealth?
How do I make my small business work for me and not me work for my small business? Yeah.
It's like that's why I love that episode so much. But another one we got asked before that was, should you take a leap and jump out there and all that type of stuff? I mean, those are huge things that you hear, because this is if you're real. I feel like we make this content for the real die-hard entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah,
Like,
people who don't care who
Yeah.
doing the podcast. It's not about what's on our Instagram.
Yeah.
It's not about this, that, and the third. It's not about our skin color, our
yeah, it's nothing.
hair.
And if you watching this,
It's about pure facts.
oh, well, think about the length. I heard people talk about the length, but I hear people hit me up too
Let's go
and watch
to
that car, Mike. I hear people too also hit me up and be like, man, I love everything about it, the length, everything, or whatever, right? And I always say, like, to me, this is for the hardcore. We've gotten clients off this show. It's just it's amazing, right? Because I believe it's for the hardcore entrepreneur. And the questions we've been getting is because I believe this is people who are actually doing it. Like, these are questions from people. Like, just I'll be honest with you, just to have the fucking the fortitude to be like, I'm gonna ask a question.
Exactly.
I'm gonna ask a question.
That's why I say. That's why you hit it on the money when you say this show is for the die-hard entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
The individuals who are going to take action.
Yeah.
I just know.
Because none of this shit works without it.
None of this shit works without it. My thing is, I just know in the past the type of individual that I was, and asking questions was one of the things.
Yeah, I just wouldn't do it.
Did-
I would
just
never
like-
wrote into a show. That's why I commend them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. For even just dropping these beautiful questions week after week after week, and bridging the gap again. We don't want to do now. So that's just pretty much what it is. So P's putting out his cell phone, and you know if P's putting
Just
out
make
his
sure
cell
Mike
phone,
don't kill himself
Yeah,
walking in
nah.
the back or something.
We don't want Mike to hit a tree or a car.
That's $1 million Mike Wallace.
Mike,
Okay.
we're gonna make a joke. Hold on, before we get into the mama's house,
Yeah,
man.
okay.
If Mike, if you run into a parked car, I'm putting your ass on Instagram.
It's happening. It's like, you remember when you was a kid, you used to play football? I really just realized I was just funny at first, but then I realized what he did.
Yeah.
But you remember when you was a kid,
Yeah.
playing football, and you always had the one person, they throw the football, and you not looking, so they run their ass into the car.
Yeah.
That shit was fucked up.
That's Mike Wallace?
Yeah, that's what we doing to Mike Wallace. We just gonna be talking one time. I'm just gonna be looking at him slowly walk into it. And go,
Boom. It just happened.
yeah, it just
So
happened.
let's go ahead and get into it, man.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Mama's, you already introduced us.
Okay,
so,
cool,
yeah.
cool.
yeah.
So let's just get it popping then.
Okay, so today's question, D, you ready for this one? Today's question comes from Keisha. Hey, Keisha.
Hey.
Well, anyway, but Keisha says, you know, I've been an entrepreneur for about 2 or 3 years now. And my question to you is, how do you guys stay motivated to keep doing, keep pushing, keep putting out content, to keep growing the business through all the ups and downs and hardships of entrepreneurship? How do you keep that motivation?
Not the motivation.
Do you want to start off on this one?
Yes.
It's about to happen. It's about to happen.
So, just talking about, Damn! Before I got into it, Mike was gonna hit that car, he missed it by an inch.
What?
But yeah, I do want to talk about this one a little bit, people, because this one, oh my God. That's you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool, man. We on Instagram.
Well, we
outside.
going straight or we hooking it up?
I mean, whichever one you want to do, Mike. Which way you want to go?
You're like the beautiful house. We need to go that way.
All right, let's go this way then.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
hit
hit
the
the sidewalk. Yeah, let's hit the
So
sidewalk.
I do want to. I guess I do. I do want to go ahead and talk about this a little bit first because basically the question is how do you stay motivated in doing a bunch of different shit, right? It's like, of course, there's going to be weeks where
Fuck this shit.
where
Man,
nothing's
fuck
happening.
this shit. This gonna be weak.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
I get
be
it.
weak.
I
It's
get it.
actually be more of those weeks than it is weeks of you winning. But
Yeah.
I just believe that with motivation,
Proper motivation.
with proper motivation, and I'm gonna talk about a couple ways that you could properly motivate yourself within this episode too, as we continue.
You know what? You know what I love about episodes like this? I think it gives people the ability to see two different perspectives.
Exactly.
Because what motivates you may not motivate. Like they're leading to the same place, but it's like say for example, somebody might be motivated by their family or stuff like that. But it's like the different motivations. And also 2D, what I want to talk about is the types of motivations, like the different types of motivation that I found. I actually did a video a while back, and I think this would be insightful to you to understand how to build that deep, unstoppable motivation. We're gonna talk about how to build unstoppable motivation today. How about that, D?
Fair enough.
So you want to get started, how you want to go about it?
Like I said, man, I just wanted to pretty much talk about this too because I wanted to start it off today, of course, because I wanted to talk about a quick story about a guy who lives in the man next door, right?
The man next door.
The man next door. So this story is called The Man Next Door. And it's a very interesting story. So there's a guy next door, and I seen him open his garage, literally next door to my house. Open his garage, 2 Bentleys, a Lamborghini, and a big old dually truck, right? And
that's your motivation.
I'm bullshit. Right? And most people say, dang, those things are cool, right? Yeah. But it was a specific thing that he was doing that allowed me to fall in love with this guy, right? And it wasn't because of the Bentley. It wasn't because of the Lamborghini. Let's wait for this car right here, Mike. We can stop and talk for a quick second. Yeah. But it wasn't because of the Bentley. It wasn't because of the Lamborghini. It wasn't because of the big old dually truck, right? It was because of none of these things. Really what it was because is it was one small thing that allowed me to notice this about this one guy, right? And I think this is what made me attracted to him as an individual, as an entrepreneur. I say, man, I want this. And this one thing that I'm about to share with you is what keeps me motivated, right? I also met another guy who pretty much owns the Epperson building. I can't never say the name right.
Editing team put like a picture of it.
Okay, cool. We can put a big old picture. It's actually Mike at the old penthouse that we used to stay at downtown, the big building with the bell, and then all of that cool stuff. But I met the guy who owned that building. These two individuals shared the same characteristic that keeps me motivated every day. Yeah. And I believe this characteristic is called self-reliance.
Self-reliance. We was talking about that, Ralph Waldo Emerson. We talked about that last week, actually.
Oh, my God. I want to explain a few things about these individuals who had these Lamborghinis and these toys that all these individuals claim keep them motivated. Yeah. Which is fair enough, because people may want to see that, or that may be something that people want, right?
Well, we're going to talk about levels, because I like where you're going with this.
Exactly.
That's why I'm talking about unstoppable motivation. There's different levels to it. So if you're really trying to build this out the right way, where you're going to be able to be motivated over the long term, like you got to ask yourself, you got to wonder, like, what keeps a person motivated after you get all that shit? Like, $100 billion to give you right now, are you just going to sit at the house? Exactly. There's got to be something else that's going to inspire you to keep going.
Exactly. Let's keep straight. Yeah, let's keep straight. So basically, what I wanted to say with these guys, and they shared this one characteristic that I love so much, which was self-reliance. And most people might say, well, how do you see a person as self-reliant? Yeah. Right? And I want to share two examples. Yeah. The man next door, right? The way that he walks. Yeah. It's a specific walk.
In the world.
In the world that an individual has that demonstrates I don't really care about
what's going on,
what the fuck y'all got going on, which is absolutely fair enough, right? You got the other guy who owned the building downtown, right? The way he was sitting, I know it sounds fucking crazy.
No, but I get what you're saying.
I know it sounds fucking crazy as we sit here.
Just has that that effortlessness, like like this, like the earth is my turf, like this is my shit,
like cool. All of y'all are here.
Yeah, and it's not even a disrespectful thing. It's not disrespecting you, but it's like it's in my own reality.
It was a situation. I walked outside, right? I wanted to meet this guy so bad because he had what I wanted. Yeah, Lamborghini cool, money cool. I've always told you. A couple months ago, prior to this, we were building the ad agency to a certain point, and we do so many different things like. The back office baloney. It's just so much different stuff that we do. But I told you one thing. I said, man, I'm here for the journey. Yeah. Right. And that's why I always tell everybody around me, it's crazy for us to talk about how much money we're ever going to make, because honestly,
it's almost like a limitation.
It's like, who fucking knows that? And then that's not even why I'm here. Yeah. I'll get that. That'll come. Right. Yeah. That shit is coming. With this podcast.
It was an old video I recorded a while back. But I actually just talked about this, which is funny. Yeah. Like. Should you chase the money in the vision? It will just come as a natural consequence. You'll just make money because, hey, you were chasing your vision. But who's right and wrong in this argument? Or is there even a right and wrong? Well, in this video, I'm gonna answer that age-old question, rather. Should you chase the money or should you chase the vision? Let's talk about that.
Now, of course, people hear about that, but there should be something else that makes you, bro. Like for me, the guy next door. The story I'm telling right now, I literally was trying to speak to him. Like this is another man. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going out of my way to try to speak to him because he had something that I want. Yeah. And it was self-reliance. His dog walked outside, big cocky pit bull, one of the pit bulls, one of the pit bulls you see on Google, right? So one of them Google ass pit bulls. He come
like
outside.
A science experiment.
Yeah, the dog run up to me, so I'm like, this is my big chance, right? Yeah. So I talked to him. I mean, the dog ran out to me, and I asked a question that I never forget, right? And he gave me an answer I never forget, with self-reliant written all over it, right? Yeah. I said, hey, what kind of dog is this? I didn't even say that. I said something even stupider. I said, hey, what kind of pit bull is this? He said, It's a fucking pit bull, bro.
What other kind of pit bull would it be?
The answer that he gave me was so strict and so to the point. It's like, fam, my life is made.
Yeah.
This is what I got out of it, right? And most people might say this person doesn't want to talk to people, or this person is rude, this person isn't anything. And when I met the guy from who owned the building downtown too, same vibe.
Yeah. I
understand it. It's a deeper understanding for the universe. It was a guy who sat there and told me exactly what I asked him. He said, it's a pit bull, bro. Like, what do you, I see you trying to talk to me, but I need you to understand that I'm all the way self-reliant in this whole...
you can just, you know what it is?
Yeah.
You can feel no neediness coming off.
Exactly.
I think that's the thing that we all respect about people. Like, think about the people you respect.
Yeah.
It's the people, it's not the person who's coming up to you, hey, it's me, right? It's more the person that's like, it's more the person that's like, you know, of course they give you respect, but they're themselves. Like, you can tell that they don't need you, so everything that they do is a little bit more valuable when they give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they give you their time. You don't want the time of the person who has all the time in the world.
Exactly.
Like the person who's busy and they're like, hey, I'm about to make some time for you.
Yeah.
I'm about to do this for you. That is the person who's self-reliant. And I think that's amazing though, right?
Yeah.
Like, and
it was just me seeing that about him. I could mumble about it. But those are the things that kept me motivated. That's what keeps me motivated. It's not the car, it's not the clothes. I mean, like, we make a lot of money, but my thing is,
it's levels.
It's being to the point for me, my motivation, and to answer Keith's question, and that's just me off top. We got a lot more stuff to talk about. But me answering that question, my thing, what keeps me going every day, right, is me having like, look at these houses around here.
Yeah.
I just need everybody to understand, like, I feel like self-reliance is just what keeps me. What's gonna keep these podcasts pumping? Yeah. What's gonna keep us talking, us being vibrant? Me hopping on Instagram talking about it's me again. That's bullshit. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's just what it is.
Well, let me tell you, we're about to go into uncharted territory today, and I hope Mike don't trip over this basketball goal. But hey, how you doing? You doing all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah.
How you doing?
See? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, you fine, you perfect. Let the people see who it is. And that's the beauty of the world, right? But I wanna talk about something though, because like I said, I like to always get practical, because I love the story you just told, just the ideas and stuff like that. And talk about some of the things coming from my background that kept me motivated throughout the years. So let's talk about levels of motivation, right?
Okay.
So I found that there's different levels of motivation, and what it basically comes down to, at the lowest level, let's start at the lowest level. What's the lowest motivation? I call these petty motivations. Okay. So what are petty motivations? You're familiar with petty motivations.
Sounds
I'm about to stun on them. I'm about fuck them. I'm about to show the doubters, the haters, the Lambos.
That guy.
Yeah, the Lambos, the women, all that type of shit, right? That's like your petty motivations. And fair enough, because what I will say is at times, and I don't want to even come off like I'm morally superior, right? Like I've never had a petty motivation in my life. Yeah. Of course, that's a part of it, but what we're talking about is more of a motivation equation, right? So like, when you're starting off with motivation, I understand it's like everybody doesn't believe in you, everybody's doubting you. Like, fuck that. I'm gonna show all that doubters and haters wrong. I want the cars, I want the women, I want all that shit, right? And I get it, right? But that's, just understand, and just as a thought, think of it this way, that's one level of motivation.
Yeah, so if that's the level of motivation that you just recognize.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I said, the whole $600 billion analogy. If I gave you $600 billion, if you're not gonna just sit at home, you're gonna want to do something else.
It's something else that you want to do.
Yeah. And so then from there, I feel like you can graduate to what I think is the three like basic types of motivation, which is what I would call short-term motivation, mid-level motivation, and long-term motivation. And then that's still not even the most powerful though. And I'm gonna run through these. So what are short-term motivations? Short-term motivations are the paycheck to paycheck type people, right? Like the reason you get up and go to work every day is because you need to pay a bill.
Exactly.
It's the only reason you get up and go to work. You're not getting up and going to work because you like, holy shit, I'm ready to get there. You like, I gotta pay a bill, or I gotta take care of somebody in my family or something like that. You got these short-term motivations or whatever, right? Day to day. I was talking to this girl the other day and she was talking about, I really don't think, I asked what her long-term motivations were. She's like, I don't really think about that, right? Ooh. Now, this woman was making money though, right?
Yeah.
But the point is, what I'm saying is, what's going to carry you through years of entrepreneurship? Yeah. I can guarantee you, there's no fucking way I would have went through the shit I went through had I not understood the things that are going to motivate me long term. Exactly. Like I said, none of us are above it. We all have petty motivations. Of course, people have doubted me, and I get some satisfaction off proving them wrong. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't even sit here and
act like if you have them, use them. Yeah. But I'm just what I'm getting at is how do we build something stronger? So because that's not gonna carry me. Yeah. Like if I wanting to talk to say girls or trying to get a car,
everybody
like that's not
you'll eventually run out.
Yeah, like I'm gonna run out of motivation because it's gonna be like once I beat them, then what?
Then what?
Then what do I do? What's gonna keep me motivated then? Because I still got a company to run. Yeah. I still got shit to do. So that's your long term. Then you get to mid-level motivation, which is a little bit better. This is shit that I like to say, like, oh, I want a house. I want something nice. Something that takes a little bit of time to acquire, right? I want a nice family. I want something like that. And these mid-level motivations form the net of what I see most people get to, right? Most people don't get past. Most people are stuck in petty motivations, but a lot of people don't get past mid-term motivations. But then I always think about long-term motivation, right? And I'm saying it again, long-term motivation. What I'm saying is
kind of like that episode when I got on and I said I stopped thinking about what I'm doing this weekend.
Yes. Exactly.
And I went more into the language of what we're about to do this year.
Exactly. What we're about to do in our life.
What we're doing with our life. How are we about to handle this situation?
And see, the way I look at it is like this. You want to go this?
Yeah.
The way I look at it is like this, whatever. Long-term motivation comes down to something very simple, whatever. And what that is basically, what vision do you have for your life? So I also remember when I first started off, I remember talking to friends and family and stuff like that. And I remember being really caught up in those petty motivations, right?
Yeah.
Wanting to prove the doubters wrong. And what happened is I just ran out of energy.
Exactly.
Because when I slayed my enemies, right. what happened was, shit, I had nothing else. But I was still here, still feeling like, man, there's got to be more to life. And anytime I got what I wanted or whatever, anytime I got the things I wanted or things I thought I wanted, I found that the motivation dipped. So what happened for me, and I've talked about it before, I won't go into it again, is the dream I had. It built a deeper motivation because my life switched from being about something external, which is proving a doubter wrong, acquiring a house or something like that.
And then moving into
a vision for my life.
Exactly.
Like, what do I want to create? Because the whole thing is like this, right? Right now, we're out here filming.
Yep.
And people don't know this because people might think we just kind of throw these episodes up. Yeah. But I think the big thing that people don't understand is that we talk about how to make it better. Like even us walking out here today is to try to engage you so you can look at it and be like, oh, let me see something different because we want to motivate you. Yeah. Now, if we're motivating you, why do you think we're choosing to motivate you? Like we could definitely, you got to watch all this, Mike.
I was about to say, Mike.
you got to watch all this.
Hold on, we good. Y'all bear with us.
Just bear with us.
In the jungle right now.
We trying to bring you something different.
Right.
You want to go across that? Or how you want to do that?
Water. This is a large puddle of water.
Yeah, can you get across that? Yeah. Just bear with it. That boy smooth with it. Let me get it across here too. And that's even more powerful than that. So what are long-term motivations, right?
Yeah.
Long-term motivations are saying like, I want to build a company up, right? Yeah. Let's say if I said I want to build a $100 million company.
Yeah.
Right? That's going to take me a while to build a $100 million company. Yeah. So it's not going to be something I can accomplish maybe in a year, 2 years. There have been stories of explosive growth, but for the average journey, you're probably going to do that in say maybe 5, 6, 10 years, right?
Exactly.
So the thing is, building a $100 million company. Now, we've seen explosive growth, but I don't know where it's going to go with all that. But that would be a long-term motivation. So if I'm looking at a $100 million company, think about it like this. I'm not going to be thinking day to day.
Exactly.
I'm going to be thinking, oh, shit, I'm going to build this company. So all my actions are then motivated by this long-term goal.
Yeah.
So,
But you ask, like most people say, how you doing? Like, of course, how the question came to us, how you doing? Yeah. How do you hang in there so long?
Exactly.
That's really why we're here. Like, I want you to think about what just happened, right? You was watching this video and now we have changed clothes. This is a different day. It's no secret.
And we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, know what I'm saying? I wanted to touch on it a tad bit before we even got started with it, but I want you to just recognize the surroundings here. I want you to understand it's a different day, different clothes, different everything, right? I can't even remember if I talked about what I want to talk about, but one thing I do want to say is that at this point though, it's like, do you think that if we were motivated by short-term things, we would be able to come back out here and do what we're doing now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you think if we had mid-term, maybe mid-term motivation would get you out here for an extra video, maybe.
Yeah.
But really what I know it is what I said before. I don't know if the camera cut off before I got a chance to talk about this, but God damn it, I'm gonna talk about it again. I am here for self-reliance, and that's what I am. Yeah. That's what I want.
And see, that's going into what I would call the most powerful motivation. So when we talking about unstoppable.
Like that house, huh?
Yeah, that is a nice house.
Nice house. Yeah.
That's like distress house. We should call our boy House Buying Brian, tell him about it.
Yeah.
But so what you saying that though, right? That's perfect, because big thing when I was talking about long-term motivations, I want people to understand the map of motivations. You should set all these motivations, right? And these are great motivations, but what I find is all of those are kind of flaky, right? Maybe your taste changed, you don't want that house anymore. You don't give a fuck about your ex anymore, you just kind of put it out your mind. So that petty motivation is not gonna motivate you anymore. You know, the car, whatever thing, those things don't motivate you anymore. And I've only seen one type of motivation in all of the motivations that I know that keeps you motivated long term. Which way are we going?
That way.
That way? You wanna get on the sidewalk?
That way, yeah, let's get on the sidewalk.
Yeah, let's get on the sidewalk.
Right here.
Yeah, just hop on the sidewalk.
Darrell ain't not even here right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I've only seen one type of motivation that really lasts long term, and you kind of touched on it already.
Yeah.
And this type of motivation goes past long term motivation. And this is what I call purpose-based motivation. So everybody, when they start off in anything, they're usually gonna fall into one of those categories of motivation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's above it, it's just what you do. And I don't want you to even think anything's wrong with those motivations. But what you'll find is that this type of motivation that I'm about to talk about will allow you to go through anything. I mean, you could literally be sleeping on the floor, you could be damn near fucking homeless, you could lose everything that you hold dear, and you would still say, I'm gonna keep fucking going because I'm motivated by this.
Yeah.
And what am I talking about? I'm talking about having a vision for what your life should be. I want to say that again. Having a vision for what your life is gonna be.
Yeah.
So like I say, even if it got cut out, right?
Yeah.
I still cut in that footage from yesterday because I believe audio's just good enough for, because that point you made about the self-reliance and what you're here for, if it's not in the point that got cut out, I'll still cut it in here because I still think it's amazing, right? But the point is, what I'm saying is this. I remember when I was sleeping on the floor, when I was doubted and stuff like that, that type of motivation couldn't carry me.
Yeah.
So what changed was I started having a vision for what my life is gonna be. So one of the things you always hear me say, you always hear us talk about is creating a future where you're in control. So I have this vision for creating a world where I'm in control. I'm completely self-reliant. I'm able to do the things I want to do. And then also helping other people do the things they want to do. Now the thing is, because I see my vision as something bigger than myself, because I see my vision as something that's gonna help you, well, it's not that difficult for me to get up. It's not that difficult for me to make things happen, because all I'm thinking to myself, hold on, let this car pass.
Let them go.
So all I'm thinking to myself is, oh, when I wake up every day, it's almost like I see myself on a mission, right? It's like a mission. It's bigger than me, right? It's bigger than Prinston. It's bigger than what I'm gonna do. So with that being said, because it's bigger than me, it's easy for me to wake up every day.
Exactly.
It's easy for me to get up and say, okay, I'm motivated to take action, right? So if you're sleeping on the floor, if you're doing something like that, you're here for something bigger, then you're gonna have that unstoppable motivation.
Exactly.
And I believe that's something that a lot of people don't touch on.
Yeah, just touching on that stuff though is the reason why I believe that listening to these videos and capturing this type of content, the people that's watching this type of shit, P, these are my favorite people in the world, bro, because it's like, we talked about this.
Real entrepreneurs.
Real entrepreneurs, man. Like a person who can curate this much content. I hope you go on binges watching this shit, because I did. You know what I'm saying? Like you talked about earlier, man, it was days where you remember consuming content like this, bro, and don't be scared of it, man. Do it, because this is what got us to this point. You think we got here just fucking under a rock?
Yeah, I mean, think about what you were just talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to understand that we did lose a lot of audio from the time we recorded. So we recorded this one time. So we're filming a social media course right now. Yeah, as you can see, I'm here with Country Big Chase Cowboy. We filming day 2 of the social media course. What we doing today?
All I know is it's 7:30 in the morning and the rest of y'all is trash.
Get up, man. As you can see, I'm here with Country Big Chase Cowboy. So we stopped to film social media course and film this in between. Now, that's a lot of fucking work on us.
In between gym sets, too.
Exactly.
And
so
at the gym
coming from the gym, you've seen us walking from the gym. So I want you to really understand, what do you think is gonna motivate us to do that? Why? We could have just said, you know what, fuck it. We just ain't gonna have the content this week.
That one ain't gonna come out the can. We
just done with that shit. We ain't gonna do that shit. But we said, nah, fuck that. we want to provide the best experience for you. So we're motivated because, like I said, my vision is not going because I'm looking to make a bunch of money off of this or anything like that. I'm saying I got a bigger vision for my life. So now it's like, what's the right decision here?
That's why I said I had a friend today. I asked him, how do you feel about money, right? And we talked long. We had a long talk about that, man. I said, I ended up telling him how I felt about it, right? Saying, man, I'm not here for that, right? I'm not saying, don't get me wrong now. I'm gonna get mine, right? I'm gonna get my money that I deserve and I work for and I own. I'm gonna get it, right? And and it's stupid to me to put a dollar amount on that and base that on my motivation, right? The money, right? Because okay, what you gonna do after you get that? Yeah. Right? It has to be something. The $600 billion analogy. The $600 billion analogy that Prinston Hicks told me was amazing. He said, man, listen. If I gave you $600 billion a day, what would you go do with it? That's what you're motivated about. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're about. What will you do after $600 billion? Because the money don't really have nothing to do with it. And I think as you make more money, and as I'm continuing to make money, as we're continuing to see money rise up from thin air and from over here and over there, because we understand how money works, I'm starting to see that I'm not even here for that. I told you before, and not to cut you off though, I told you before, man, I'm here because I want to. I'm here for the fucking journey, bro. The journey. Amazing concept. Exactly. Amazing concept from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? He talked about a circle of concerns, right? Exactly. And they've said this a lot of times in self-development. You can tell how big a person is by their circle of concerns. So when I was talking about those petty motivations, when you don't have that much money, of course you're going to be worried about day-to-day motivations, which is, like we always say, it's fair enough. Yeah. You're going to be worried about day-to-day shit. If you can't eat, you're not going to be worried about creating much impact. It's actually called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the lowest level, you think about things like survival, food. And then once you get that handle, you start thinking of things like shelter. And then from that, once you get that handle, you start thinking about higher level needs. And then eventually you get to what they call self-actualization. Exactly. When you get to that level, that's the whole point about motivation. Like, if you can go this way, if you can think about high level motivations like that, if your circle of concerns is oh yeah, what the fuck are they doing over here? What messy shit are they doing on Instagram, or what messy shit are they doing over here? Then you're not gonna thrive very long, right? But if your circle of concerns is changing the world, impacting the world, how much more motivated do you think you're gonna be? If you have a vision for your life that I want to create a world where I'm in control of financial freedom for my family, I want to change, like if you have these type of motivations, then when shit happens or bad shit gets thrown at you, it's not gonna be hard for you to keep going. Of course you're gonna feel bad and it's gonna be fucked up, but you're gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna keep going because I feel a deeper motivation, like my life has a sense of purpose. Exactly. Like you said, you're here for the journey. I'm here for the journey. That's all I came for. That's how I always say. I make jokes with P all the time. I say, man, I'm here, bro. I'm just gonna be here, man. That's all I'm gonna ever do. And P always tells me I'm the guy who I'm like a punchliner, right? I'm cold. I'm one line. I'm very. Hey, this is my cousin's grandmother's house. Oh, yeah. Grew up here. I used to come here when I was a kid. Actually, just had some crazy memories right here, but that's crazy, man. But shout out to fam right there. But what was I at, P? I forgot. It's a bunch of dogs. You said you always make a joke about the one-liners. Oh yeah, I always make a joke. About our one-liners, right? But I really mean that when I say it, man. I'm here for the journey. Yeah. And all I'm ever gonna be is just here. So even just displaying my motivation with these one-liners and just talking to P about what I'm motivated about, everything that I ever do, every button I press on this phone, every notification I get, everything that I'm on, man, is all built around self-reliance. I don't even care about too much of the other shit, man. And that's just how I'm feeling right now. I hate to get a little bit too loose on the podcast, but I'm already out here dripping sweat. Man, do the shit. I love it, man. But what I'm trying to get to people, and I don't give a fuck how I have to do it. If it means for the rest of my life, bro, get in front of a gimbal. If we gotta give B.R.U.I.C.E $10 million, bro, I do it. To hold a gimbal for the rest of our life, just to drill these fucking shits in people's brains about how this shit really is supposed to go. How you're supposed to value yourself. How you're supposed to be motivated. How you're supposed to do this. I hope you watch this shit and go get started with some shit, man. Yeah. Because even if you don't get started or learn from us, learn some shit from somebody, man.
And see,
I just want you to understand there are individuals. Yeah, you see the tone that I'm getting at and how I'm rocking right now. We're gonna cut. We're gonna cut through here. We're gonna go back through the hood a little bit longer.
So my thing is this.
Go under the bridge.
My thing is this, right? What you saying that here's the thing that
man, that's how I'm rocking right now.
You got to wonder. You have to wonder what makes a person motivated. What makes these big time celebrities? I used to hear people all the time when I was at the lowest levels of like conscious thought, right?
Yeah.
When I was like really low down and broke and stuff like that. I used to hear people say, he's got $1 billion.
We still rocking back there, right? The record button, because it's not gonna let us go that long.
So people would be like, why does he want another $1 billion? He just want another $1 billion? Or why does he want to make more money? What is he just doing it for? Can one man have enough money or something like that? And I said, because you don't get it.
Yeah, you don't understand how this
The
shit
money
rock.
became a scorecard for them a long time ago. I remember watching an amazing interview, and this guy said, after a certain amount of money, it's almost like monopoly money. It's like the difference between Bill Gates and Warren Buffett is just a number. They both can buy all the same shit. So it's not a thing. It's not like, at a certain point, you're gonna get to where you can buy everything. Like, once you start buying the things you want, then you start getting to the point of saying, oh, okay, now I have those things. I need to wake up and do something different. I'm motivated to do this because this is the exciting part. A big thing I always tell people is this. I gave this example to somebody. Going back to the $600 billion, right? Right now, let's say you have a kid or you have a child. Niece, nephew, if you don't want kids or whatever. And when you're talking to that child, right, when you're looking at them and you say, okay, and they say, tell me about everything you've been through. Are you gonna go show them your bank statements?
No.
They're gonna be like, oh shit, here's my bank statements and this is how much money I have in my bank account. No, you're gonna be talking about the shit that you're doing. This right here is the journey. You're coming on us with our journey and we want you to start your own journey and be motivated. So this right here, this is what I'm gonna be talking about. I'll be able to take this and show this to them so they can see, hey, this is the shit that we did in order to build it up. So this can be motivation to them. And that's way more inspiring than the bank account that I can eventually show them. They won't even have any context for him. My little nephew, right? Yeah. There's an amazing house, amazing house. There's everything he wants, has all the games and all this type of shit. And I always think he doesn't have any context for it. He doesn't even get what it is. Yeah. All he's ever known is, oh shit, we've been good. He doesn't know about my background, anything like that. All he knows is what he sees right now. That's gonna be the same thing. So the only thing you could tell him when he get older, you could tell him about that stuff, but what will he be able to see? He's like, man, this is the journey, this is the stories, this is what we did, this is how we got here. And it's those type of things that motivate me. I've said this before, even with my YouTube channel. One of the reasons I don't like deleting stuff is because I like to go back and look at how far I've come. And I leave it up for you so you can go up and see how far I've come, so you can say, oh shit, he didn't start at the most amazing level, and you could do the same thing. And I believe, like you said, the journey. There has to be some bigger vision or something big in your life that motivates you.
And just hearing you tap on that shit is just why I was just sitting here waiting, man, because I understand it. Yeah. Like, people, like, you want to change your bank account, change your story. It's that simple. Yeah, and I'm going there with them. We're going to turn right here.
Yeah, we're going back. We're going
to turn right. We ought to cut through here, but I don't want to disturb none of our people. Right now, we're in the lovely Third Ward area. If you haven't been to Third Ward area.
That's why you trying to go this way?
No, we're not going that way. We're heading back to where we was coming from. I want to cut through there. It's a bit shorter. But like I said, we're in the Third Ward area. A lot of homeless people over here filming about this type of content. I don't want to, offend anybody or anything like that. They already looking at us, but I know a couple people over here and we good. So basically what I was saying was, though, if you want to change your bank account, change your story. You hear me? And I said that 2 times. I might have to say it again.
Say it third time.
To change your bank account.
Do what?
Change your story, bro.
Yeah.
It's all about how you tell a story. And if you're motivated about the right things, your story will come out. Yeah, let's get back on the sidewalk. But that's all. That's pretty much what I'm on, P. As we wrap it up, you want to go ahead and give our final thoughts from the Penthouse, or what?
We can get a final thoughts from the Penthouse.
Yeah, man. And I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and keep that, change your story. But I guess for my final thoughts from the Penthouse, I just want to talk about my final thoughts is make sure that
Can't even say the shit.
Make sure that whatever you're motivated for will keep you motivated. I want you to understand what I'm saying. That might sound cliche, and that might sound like some shit that doesn't make any sense, but I'm motivated for several lines. I want to wake up and never talk to people that I don't want to talk to. I don't want to talk to people, and I don't want to deal with motherfuckers that I do not want to deal with. So my thing is, with several lines, that's what I want. And that's pretty much my final thought from the Penthouse. P, yours?
Well, like I say, I think the biggest thing I've always seen with everything is have something that motivates you besides the day-to-day shit, right?
Exactly.
I hear people come to me all the time talking about, you know, you had the opportunity to do the things that you've done or whatever, right? But I know what I was willing to sacrifice for the journey.
Yeah.
The question is, are you? You talking about you have a job or something like this, or full-time, something like that. The thing is, what you don't have is enough fucking motivation. And I understand that people would say that, oh, motivation is like, I feel like because of what we look at in motivation, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a sick child or something like that, a sick family member, are you gonna say, and you had to work in order to make them, and make sure they stayed alive? Would you fucking be motivated?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure you would be. So you have to have something bigger in your life to keep you motivated. That's the only thing that's gonna do it. I see people all the time wanting to be entrepreneurs and stuff like that, and I believe they got into it for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
If you just came here to make money, unless you're very, 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 very talented in the very beginning, or just understand shit, what's gonna end up happening is you have a pitfall. Now, I don't even want anybody to make an excuse and think I'm saying that you have to be talented. I'm just saying that if you're not as talented and you start hitting roadblocks and bumps, you're gonna have something bigger in order to keep you motivated. And the big thing I say is how to build that unstoppable motivation is just remember, have a full range of motivations.
Exactly.
But the biggest thing above all of this is think about what fucking journey are you on here and how you're gonna create an impact while you're on this earth.
Exactly.
And once you understand about yourself, you will have unstoppable motivation.
Unstoppable motivation.
You wanna give your social medias and we can
man.
get out?
And we're gonna wrap it up here, man. Country Cowboy on all social media platforms, man. Follow me, fuck with me, do whatever you gotta do. Hit me up, reach out, do whatever, man. Ask me questions. It's hard for me to get to all of the DMs, so figure out my other social media channels. If you clearly see that I have 50, 60, 70,000 people on Instagram, try to hit me up on iTunes. Leave a comment on the podcast, man. Think about what you're doing, man. There's a bunch of people in one spot asking me a bunch of questions. I want you to utilize me. My email is there. I mean, hit us up on Mama's House to Penthouse questions, /questions. I mean, the link will pop up or whatever you got to do. Reach out, man. We are here to help. We want to help. And what we do this shit for. P, your social media?
Social media, Prinston Hicks on everything. You know, you can find me, tweet at me and all that stuff. And like you said, I echo the same sentiment, which is, hey, we're here to help you create a future where you're in control. I say this and I say it again. I probably already said it at the end of one of my videos. One of my goals is to help build 1 million 7-figure businesses, and I want you to be one of them. So if you're watching this, I was talking to Darrell. I was actually talking to Darrell, and I say this before we get out of here since I already gave my social media. He was like, "So you're really doing this shit to help people?" I said, "Yeah." I know. I know that a bunch of people, and this is just statistically, I know a bunch of people watching this podcast might not take action, right?
Yeah.
But I hope you're the 1%. If it's just you. And I'm talking to you, and you know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you. I hope you're the 1% who says, no, I'm gonna be the fucking exception. I'm not just gonna listen and spectate and actually take action. I hope that's enough motivation to kick you in your ass and say, I'm doing this shit. I ain't gonna let them talk about me and say, oh, I'm just a spectator. So if that's the motivation you need, fair enough. With that being said, that's my social media, and I'm gone.
Me too, man. I'm done with y'all this week.
I open my eyes, I see them snakes in the sky, saying that they down the ride. Really, they down for the ride. Really, they down for a piece of my pie. Look in my eyes, you can see that I'm tired. Look at my ties, you can see I got drive. All these emotions, I put them aside. All this potential, I bring it to life. I look them dead in the eyes. Cause I really want it, and I'm really working, and I'm really stressing out because I'm nervous. Cause everybody wanna be on the surface. I think I earned it. Cause I've been spitting ever since you were jerking. I'm talking way before recording with Irvin. I was working, so I think I deserve it. Ain't nobody knows. Nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows. All the sweat that I've been sweating, all them tears that I've been shedding. Ain't nobody knows. Nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows. All the work that I was putting when they tell me that I shouldn't. Ain't nobody knows. Nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows. All the sweat that I was shedding, all them tears that I was shedding. Ain't nobody knows. Nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows. All the work that I was putting when they tell me that I shouldn't. Ain't nobody knows.
That's the rules. Nigga, we made it. Nah, man. Bro, I remember locking in all hours of the night with you back in Houston, man. The grind was real. And even back then, man, in your Curious Keys days, I always knew you had that gift. There was something special about you. Man, continue to be great and inspired. Dreams really do come true, and only Wayne can make it happen. One love, your boy